You are not alone. Resist him, firm in your faith, knowing that the same kinds of suffering are being experienced by your brotherhood throughout the world. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 9, the English Standard Version. When one hears the statement, "You are not alone," it assures that in suffering, in pain and fear, believers are not alone, because all authentic believers experience suffering. All share this experience, although to varying degrees, since God allows the believers to suffer based on their ability to manage the suffering, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 13. For believers, knowing they are not alone in their suffering bring great relief, because one of the believer's greatest sufferings is that they can feel so separate from one another, so alone, so unsupported when suffering. Almost every suffering person will tell you how lonely they feel, how much they feel not a part of a community when suffering. Yet, there are others who, even in the community of faith, give the impression that they are too blessed to be stressed, and they live this life devoid of suffering. Much effort is made to cover the fact that they are not perfect. Like others, they experience suffering, as this is a part of the divine plan to build faith. Such attitude is a red flag. It is a sign of false spirituality. For every believer, the struggle is real, but the determination should always be to trust God more. The Satan can only harass the believers to the extent that God allows. The believer's enemy is the devil, Satan, whose agenda it is to devour Christians. He intends to cause real and lasting harm to the believers and significantly weaken the believer's trust in God the Father. But what the devil intends for evil, God allows for the believer's good. The only way to build the believer's faith is to test the believer's faith, mindful that the Satan has neither power nor authority, as all power and authority belong to God. All believers are encouraged to resist the Satan when the battle comes. Fight back. Do not roll over and play dead. This encouragement is eye-opening, coming from Peter, especially since he has repeatedly told believers to submit to those in authority, kings and governors, who were part of the machinery of persecution so many believers would face. He has written that slaves should submit to masters and wives to husbands, not based on that person's worthiness, but out of submission to God. However, when it comes to the Satan, Peter's instruction is to do the exact opposite of submission. Believers must say no. They must fight. Peter knows very well that this is not a fist or sword fight, as he was instructed by Jesus himself. If you live by the sword, you will die by the sword. In Matthew chapter 26, verse 52. Believers fight by standing firm in their faith. The goal of the Satan has been from the beginning to weaken the believer's dependence on God the Father, whose love is everlasting and providing. The devil may utilize persecution to accomplish this. However, the devil may attack the believer's faith in other ways. Yet, the strategy for fighting back remains the same. Trust God increasingly. Build reliance on God. Lord, thank you for the reminder that we are not alone in the fight, and the strategy for battle is identical. Submit to you. Resist the devil, and he will flee from us. Amen. You have been listening to Morning Manna with Reverend Bonnie EBW Smith, Superintendent of the Moravian Church Antigua Conference and Minister of Christian Education. Have a terrific Tuesday. God bless you.